but that is going to get him a little bit closer to even.
That's okay then. Let's just
Eli's had a tough night. He has already rebought. His rebuy was the 45,000. You can see he only has 35 behind. So
you should start one of those. That way there's an advantage for people who like to have fun.
Come play my little game. That's what we do. We fire the shots.
I even like the sizing on that one.
Yeah, I did too. No, it was a great size.
Once a month, maybe.
And play poker. Wait.
I would rather do a game for pretend, so when we're done, we just get our chip.
And Luda, dude, just back to back says, if I got a hand, I'm 3-betting it. Let's go.
I can't believe this shit. And then that's when I get a flush.
Yeah, Luda Chris definitely subscribes to the mantra of razor fold.
I love Nick.
There's no between.
No between. I mean, yeah, out of position. That really seems to be his entire strategy. If he's like ever out of position to the initial razor.
How about a set of sixes?
Oh my gosh, with a
For
club
a flush
draw.
draw. Hold on to everything, guys. Let's see. Let's watch this one in silence if we can.
Two biggest stacks at the table.
17 years of this.
Pot is already 6,000, bloated with the 3-bet. And Luda Chris bets 5K.
Wow, full pot.
Bertucci basically has the nuts right now, although Luda Chris is the one player at the table who could theoretically check rate 3-bet with a hand like 7-4. And Bertucci,
Min click it?
he min check raised.
Clicks it back.
Pot is already $21,000, 5 to call. Luda Chris is obviously not folding with a flush draw.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Twice. A lot of times she said twice. I'm like, no.
Stop doing whatever you're doing and watch this one.
Okay. Take a little edible. Love it.
Call 10,000.
There's a call from Luda Chris.
So this is kind of a big flop for everyone. Nick flops top set. Luda with the flush draw and the overs. It's kind of a crazy flop for two hands to hit so hard. Nick decides to check raise here. That's sort of interesting. The check seems obvious. Luda c-betting 5K into a 6K pot. Seems pretty straightforward. Grant, what do you think about Nick's decision not just to check raise, but specifically to click it back to 10K?
I initially don't like it. This all has echoes of last week's hand between these two guys, by the way. Luda
big
even
time.
had Jack 10, but they both had much worse hands than this in that case.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say about Luda's play so far except that the 3-bet is on character, but maybe a little ambitious pre-flop, but it's fine. Nick check raising as a min check raise. The only way I can defend it is that it's a range-based thing. He's thinking, okay, in the last hand, I 3x'd it when Luda Chris had a range advantage. On this board, I have a range advantage, so I'm going to have fewer or more raises so I can bet smaller. And that's what I'm supposed to do theoretically. But it still feels way too small. Like, are you really ever bluffing with a min click?
I think Luda is so aggressive and fights so hard for pots. And the hand we did last week, which was, 45 minutes earlier in this session or some amount of time earlier in this session, where Nick check raised the flop with one pair and Luda called him with Jack 10 high, no draw, in one backdoor draw, nothing going on there. That he 3x it there. I just can't think of any reason not to really 3x it again unless we think this clickback is going to induce a 3-bet a lot on the flop.
Right.
That's
and
the only reason.
We don't know because it's possible that it would if Luda had Jack 10 of diamonds. It's possible that Luda just can't allow this to happen. He's like, well, I'm not going to call this time on this super wet board. I'm going to just put the pressure on right now. And maybe Nick knows that about Luda, and that would justify the play.
Seems unlikely, though.
It does feel like a little bit exploitable. Like Nick's choosing sizing based on his hand strength a little bit too much.
He's like, please don't fold. Please don't fold. That's what it feels like. Like, if you 3x it last time, 3x it this time, the guy is not interested in folding. He's fancy play all the way. That's his new nickname.
That's a really good nickname.
I just came up with that.
I like that.
And like, let's give him a chance to be all fancy by playing it this way, especially on a board this draw heavy, where we can have clubs, we can have a straight draw, right? We can have these things.
Yeah.
I just don't know why we wouldn't play it that way.
I like going bigger here. Luda has a pretty straightforward decision here. It actually feels like calling is mostly all you can do.
Yeah.
3-betting can get you in some tricky spots. I mean, what if Nick just moves in? That's a tough spot.
Right.
Also, like we have position. It's great. We get to see what happens on the turn. We don't have the nut flush draw. It's just the jack high flush draw. We don't get in too much trouble. I think calling is the right play.
I agree. Calling seems great. We have opportunities to try and take the pot away later if we don't improve anyway because we're in position. Maybe.
Yeah.
Seems great.
Talking about seems great. Talking about nitro betting, you fools. Use the link in our pinned tweet if you want to seem great, because it'll seem great to get access to our monthly tournament. It's a great tournament.
And, you know, for all you people who've been on the Nitro Sports train doing all this stuff, well, Nitro Sports has turned into Nitro Betting, and you have to re-sign up using our link. Otherwise, you don't get access to our amazing tournament and all the other great stuff.
Don't worry. It's easy, and it's new and improved. It's worth it. We'll see you there.
Turns to 7 o'clock. Oh, that is that. I mean, the worst card in the deck if you're Bertucci.
So bad.
I mean, if your opponent had a 4, they've got a straight. If they had a club draw, they've got it. Pot is $26,000.
Yeah, he checks it over. It's a good check. Probably just going to check call.
Now, what's your sizing here if you're Luda Chris? Nick has 69, 70,000 behind, we'll call it. So.
Yeah, I'd go in the neighborhood of 15 to 20. So I can.
Wow, that much.
Yeah, I'd be setting up a river jam, I think, because with the board being so connected, Nick himself may check some straights here.
Looks like he bet about 16, maybe?
Close. Look at it.
18,000, so right in the neighborhood you just mentioned. Pot is 44,000, we'll call it. 18 to call. When he calls this, we're presuming he's going to, it'll be 61,000 in the pot.
Yep, and it's going to set up just a perfect 4/5 pot jam.
Oh, this is sick.
Oh, this is so sick. Board pair. Oh, it's a 5! Oh my God, no!
Does Bertucci play this as a check raise?
It's so close. I mean, there's a lot of hands you really don't want to check back, though. He could conceivably just rip it.
I mean, Luda Chris has got to be aware that Bertucci's range is really narrow here, right?
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, he's just going to... Small bet.
Whoa, this might induce
I
a
was about to
shove.
say, this might induce the shove from Luda, man.
This could be genius from Bertucci.
Maybe Nick has a 5 here sometimes.
Yeah, but what does he
And
have? How
is
does he have
Lee-
a 5, though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, but oh no.
Oh, he's counting out raising chips.
There's the raise.
35,000. All in? All in. Nick is all you can eat.
Oh my
It's 17,000 to call, but Luda Chris is never good here.
Never. How can you ever be?
Pot is $148,000.
Oh, my
This is the
gosh.
biggest pot we've ever seen in a 5-5 game. I know it's a 5-5, 50-50 game, but still.
Still-
Biggest hand we've ever seen on a Tuesday night. What a spot. Just to recap the action, Bertucci raised pre-flop, Luda Chris 3-bet. Flop came out 6-5-3. It went check, bet, check, raise, min check, raise. Then the turn went check, bet 18,000, call, and then Bertucci made what is really a brilliant play. He bet 9,000 into 63,000 and induced a raise from Luda Chris. And then Bertucci moved all in.
Quads or full house, no problem, huh?
Luda even
Straight
says,
flush. I know I'm never good here. I know I'm never good. How much is more after the 35?
Let me bring in the 35. And 20,
35, yeah.
35. That's 35 right here. So I bring this in. And not much more.
Shit. Wish it was more. Oh, man. Oh, fuck. Wow. Shit. Should I save 20 grand or not? Sorry. 10, 16. What the fuck? What the fuck? If pocket sixes or pocket threes. Wow. Wow, how lucky are you? Pocket sixes or pocket threes? Fuck, I almost just called. 9-2.
I don't even know if Bertucci is actually moving all in with threes.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't even know if he's doing it with threes.
Fuck. It's a full house, but there's so much in it. Run 35, right?
I'm running the 35.
Yeah.
17,000 to call.
Sixes, fives, or threes. Sixes, fives, or threes. Sevens, maybe? That's just how lucky you are. Dude, this is actually such horseshit. Like how you run so fucking good against me. I've literally never done this opposite to you. Wow. Fuck, why did I even play? It's so stupid. This is such fucking horseshit. Sorry, guys. Oh my god.
Just to recap, Bertucci bet 9,000 into a pot of over 60 on the river, inducing a raise from Luda Chris with the jack-high flush. And then Bertucci moves in over the top
Sixes or threes or
for
fives.
20,000 more.
We're so fucking lucky, man. This is literally the dumbest shit ever. Never fucking give any action until you have full house. Nuts, nuts, nuts. Always run into the fucking nuts. I've actually literally never been mad before. Holy shit. This is actually the one time I'm actually mad. No. How do you fucking get there? And there's no point. You just have it. There's just no point. It's so stupid. Just 20, right?
You want to jack conquer?
No, it's all good. 16, 17, 18, just roughly. I just want to make sure I'm not off by a bunch.
It was $19,920.
Dude, I just want to fucking throw these chips into the fucking glass. Fucking break the cards. I think I'm just he's never bluffing here. All right, whatever.
Oh, man.
Well, Luda Chris has a lot of anger in his heart, doesn't he?
I
He just has a
mean,
lot of anger.
I think this is a little. I understand he doesn't like losing, and he doesn't like this is a bunch of money and all that. But like, this feels a little crazy.
Yeah,
a little
I mean,
much.
it sucks to lose. Let's
Yeah,
find
it
out
does.
how it happened. Let's go back to the turn.
Okay,
This is obviously the death card for Nick, the 7 of clubs. It's among the worst cards in the deck for Nick.
agreed.
Is checking the right play? Like, should we just keep the lead just to keep the flow a little, a little easier for us, man? Like flow with river and stuff like that?
I think checking is the right play, not so much because we are behind a tremendous amount of the time, although we are sometimes behind as all the draws. A bunch of the draws come in anyway. 7, 8 doesn't, but the 4 comes in, the clubs come in. But as much because if we check, Luda Chris is going to bet some, ludicrous amount of the time.
Excellent.
Right?
Excellent work.
Thank you. So why not give him a chance to do that? It seems like a very straightforward check call to me. We're ahead a lot. I think we can feel good about it and know that we also get to control the pot this way and induce.
Right, and we might just fold out 2 red aces if we bet. So there's not
Right.
a ton of value to be had at this point because this is just a terrible card, and that's a good reason to check. Luda betting is not even worth talking about. Of course, we're ludicrous. We bet all the time. Of course, we bet with a flush. It's a great idea.
Oh my gosh, incredible when we actually have it.
Yeah.
It must feel amazing.
And it is ludicrous. So even if we didn't have pretty decent implied odds with the pocket sixes here, we would have to call anyway as Nick because this guy could have a lot of stuff.
Right.
So not much to say there. Getting to the river is where things get real interesting.
Yeah.
Nick has a particular strategy for Luda Chris, it seems. Or maybe this is something he employs against a lot of people.
I don't know.
But check calling the turn and then leading for this size when, of course, you make an incredibly good hand. Very interesting stuff.
I mean, 9K into a 62K pot is very interesting. The message he's sending is, I am blocking, right? I want to keep the pot small. I don't want to have to pay a huge river bet. That's not true because he's got a monster, as we see. But that's the sign. That's what he's saying. I've got, trip fives. I have a straight. I don't want you to bomb it here. Make my life easy. And Luda might raise, by the way, with anything, right? Which would be which is probably why Nick is doing this, to induce the bluff raise, I would think.
Yeah, I guess for some reason, which I'm not sure is clear, Nick believes that Luda doesn't have enough incentive just to bomb it if Nick checks anyway, because we've seen Luda do that anyway with just random hands.
On that particular board, it's possible Luda might feel like he just can't get Nick to fold, like if Nick has a straight or something like that. Yeah. Now, if Nick has a straight, he probably isn't folding to Luda Chris anyway, though, right? Is my guess. The 9K maybe is designed just to make it just so the siren call of the bluff is just so strong.
Even if you're not Luda Chris and have the most aggressive reputation in poker, you probably, if sitting there and having been bluffing in this hand somehow, you have ace queen of diamonds, it's pretty tough to not pull the trigger when he bets 9K to 62K. It's like, you're basically insulting me with this bet.
I mean,
this is offensive.
It's true. It feels like you just don't want to put in a lot of money, so let me disappoint you.
Right? Now, Luda doesn't have that decision because he has a value hand. It's a different decision. Right. The decision now is, can I let him get away with 9K when I have the jack high flush here? Like, is there actual value in raising? And I think the answer is yes. I mean, reputationally, but also, like, I think we kind of can't let him get away with 9K. Like, let's just pretend he checked and bet it accordingly, right?
I agree completely. Like, Nick has got worse hands for value that he's doing this with that will call our race.
Yeah, we have history of that.
Right. We know this. And not just hero call, but actually call with like pretty good hands, right? Like worse flushes or straights or trip fives and stuff like that. Like, let's give him a chance to do that. It seems really just incorrect to let him, as you say, get away with only paying 9K on the river when we've got a hand this strong. And he seems to be weak. Now, he isn't, but up to this point, I think the right play is to raise. Now, Luda could just move in, and I wonder if moving in is actually better of the two, if there's more value ultimately from Luda's point of view. Wouldn't be this time, but either way, I like that he raises.
Well, apparently not moving in saved him 17K.
Yeah.
Because when Nick does move in inevitably and relatively quickly, but it's hard to know what to do when you're going to move in for 17K more and it's going to look super strong no matter what.
It does.
Did Luda do the right thing to fold? We know that it is right in practice, but in theory, was this correct to fold getting this incredible price, like 11-1?
Well, let's look at it. So the first question is, does Nick ever move in here for 17K more with worse value than the jack high flush?
Absolutely not.
Agreed. There's no way. He's only calling with worse hands than that are value. Straights, worse flushes, trip fives, things like that. He's just not going to move in for 17K more specifically. So we don't have to worry about that. Next question. What bluffs exist? What bluffs would he be doing this with for 17K more?
It's really hard to think of. First of all, you have to have the chutzpah to put in the 17K more bluff, which is a really tough thing to pull off.
Very few people in the world, I think, have that.
And the only natural bluff here is the ace of clubs.
Correct.
And how does Nick have the naked ace of clubs?
It's incredibly hard to come up with a way that Nick has the naked ace of clubs that he then check raises the flop with. Min check raises the flop with. It's incredibly hard.
Right, because if he had a naked ace of clubs that he decided, I have ace 6 and I want to check raise the flop for denying equity. Yeah. Well, does he have that pre-flop? There was a 3-bet to 2,600 and you have to have ace 6 off. I'm pretty sure he's going to fold.
I think he is. I think he's playing different kinds of hands than that, as we saw with pocket sixes here even last week. He had 3-4 suited. That was maybe a questionable call, but much better to call within like ace 6 off.
Right. So he has to have an unsuited ace, and it's not going to be a paired one. It's going to be like ace jack or ace 10, and he's going to min click it on the flop.
It seems so unusual and weird. Now, if he had ace jack of clubs, sure. By the way, he can't because we have the jack clubs, but ace queen of clubs, ace 9 of clubs, whatever. But now he's got the nut flush anyway.
And we lose,
Yeah, that's not good either. So if we can't think of any obvious bluffs, or any bluffs really, we can't think of any value that we're beating, I think we're safe to fold here knowing we don't win this one out of every 11 times.
I think it's okay to fold getting 11-1. We have to have more evidence to show that Nick can show up with something that we're somehow beating, and this feels like a good fold by Luda. No matter how angrily he got there, it feels like a good fold.
Agreed.
Pio must be relieved when it saw that it was going to be Luda against Nick, and it's like, how am I going to solve with these guys? They're just going to have nothing the whole time, right? I'm just going to have to do random guesswork. Guess what, Pio? It's your lucky day. They actually had hands. It's much easier.
I mean, Nick usually has a hand. It's just
sort
of. Luda's the one who's going to
Nick has a hand and he does stuff with it that the solver would never do.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not the solver.
This is a little more straightforward.
Yes.
I'm just saying, take a little rest, Pio and Wesley Cannon, and all of your solving.
And yet, do all the work and confirm that we're right about what we're saying right now. That do all the work.
Yeah, do it now.
Don't take a rest.
Okay, I heard that.
You'll rest later. You'll rest when you're dead, Wesley.
That's right. All right, so back on the flop.
Okay.
Luda should bet, unsurprisingly, and Pio likes his sizing. Wesley gave a smaller size as an option, 2K instead of the 5K. Pio likes the 5K and the 6K, the big bet.
Oh, cool.
It's because he's not going to bet very much. He's supposed to check 86% of his range here, and that includes a lot of overpairs. He should even check a lot of overpairs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it likes this as a bet all the same.
Yeah, Jack high flush draw feels pretty natural to me.
Yeah. The flush draw does make sense.
Nick is supposed to raise with his set. Pio actually slightly prefers his min raise versus a more traditional 16K raise.
See, that's surprising to me.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a great deal for Luda.
It is a great deal, and he can call, and that's all he can do, according to Pio.
It's like you cannot.
You don't dare raise. I don't care what your name is. You're not allowed to raise.
It's 2 words anyway. It's Luda Chris. It's not Luda Chris, okay?
No.
So just chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so he calls.
He calls.
Which is what he should do.
And Pio loves it.
According to Pio.
On the turn, Pio not loving what Nick did.
Oh, no.
It actually wants him to continue betting. It is the death card. It's the super death card for sets and straights.
Yeah.
But Nick should continue to bet his sets and straights, according to Pio.
Yeah.
The sets make a little bit more sense to me than the straights because, you have implied odds against hands that have you beat right now. Straights are just dead in the water.
Yeah, I think part of it is because on these really polarized boards, it's hard to have hands you can bet, and so a lot of people just revert to these checking spots. But this way, you can have bluffs now too, right? Because it's really hard to go bet and have bluffs.
Right, you have to
if you're not betting sets also.
Right, because then you only
have enough bluffs.
You only have flushes then.
Yeah, so or have enough value, I should say, when you're bluffing, because you're gonna be bluffing a lot, but having value too, it's just hard. So betting a set, and of course you can improve.
Yep,
it's really hard to put you on a hand too when someone bets a set on this kind of a board.
It is.
It's cool.
It is. Luda did get checked too, though, and he should bet with the jack high flush. Makes plenty of sense.
Absolutely.
All right. On the river, somewhat interesting output here because we're now in a out of flow situation where Luda is the better.
Yeah.
But the solver likes betting as Nick in all cases, no matter what the size versus a check. It prefers Nick to just jam versus the small lead that Nick did, but it prefers the small lead to checking.
It basically is like, Nick, I have no idea why you checked the turn, bro, but I don't care. We're betting. That's that. We're betting. We're betting for value. This is a scary board. We're betting.
Right. That's correct. And despite the small bet being what goes in here, Pio does not want Luda to raise this hand. Does not want him to raise the jack high flush. The only value he should raise is ace 5 of clubs and boats. So it's not just the nut flush draw. He also has to block the straight flush in order to raise the nut flush.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
This is really not the outputs I was expecting. I have to say, I would think you always would raise, as we of course talk about this, Luda raising on that small thing. And so for the solver to just be like, so hard to get called.
Well, I guess Pio would have been right this time. Luda would have only lost 9K on the river had he decided to play Pio perfect.
Yeah. Well. So many things. The solver's got some strong opinions about how these guys played their hands. So did we. What do you guys think? There's a lot of different things we could talk about. Nick made some very interesting decisions about how he wanted to play his hand here post-flop, specifically on turn and river. That 9K bet on the river, just donk, is really fascinating. I know the solver likes it. Wouldn't have occurred to me really to do that. I probably would just have jammed, but I kind of love it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Weigh in on that, and of course, weigh in on Luda's responses.
Well, the solver doesn't like it compared to a jam, though. The solver
that's
prefers
fair.
a jam.
That's fair.
You're misrepresenting the truth.
I like that.
That's what Discord's for. That's where you go misrepresent the truth. Come to Discord with us. Misrepresent the truth.
Misrepresent the truth.
See you there.